Hello, boys and girls. Wait, actually, let me just check something. Oh, nice. Hello, everybody. I'm RuudDevil, and this is Age of the Ring Mod 5.0. This is it in glorious fashion, and making its glorious debut is Dol Guldur, which I'm pretty sure is the first time that Dol Guldur has ever been implemented as its own standalone faction. It's always been like that weird creepy cousin of Mordor. It's always been a part of Mordor, but this I think is the first time it's its own faction. And there is, oh god, there is a lot to unpack, and I'm not just saying that, there is so much going on with this faction. It is truly unique, and really I think it's Age of the Ring's, it's the Age of the Ring team's best work, and again, I'm not just saying that, and I have to stress that every time, because content creators have the nasty habit of just exaggerating, blowing everything out of proportion, hyping everything up, and they really just say that because they want you to get excited. They don't really want to believe in it. But this, I kid you not, is glorious, and I'm going to prove it to you. So, first of all, as you probably just saw right there, is that the builders themselves are essentially, like, weird or just lost souls that wander around Dol Guldur, and their souls inhabit the buildings you make. So, for the layman, basically, you consume your builders to make buildings. So that's already unique. That's never been done by a faction before. And you may think that's a little imbalanced, but, really, the builders themselves only cost 100, so it's easy to keep them going, but already, it's, just another... It's something else you have to concern yourself with that you would never have to think about with other factions. And, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much awesome shit that's gone into this mod. And if you remember the first time I did these faction overviews, I don't know, Age of the Ring always struck me as more of a lateral implementation of Rise of the Witch King. Never really broke any boundaries or thought outside the box. But, I'm happy to say that this is all changed. In fact, even going as far back as, like, Rivendell, whenever they came out. And this mod's just got better and better and better and just really outdone itself with Dol Guldur. So, the thing to remember with Dol Guldur is that, if you lose your buildings, you obviously have to keep recruiting builders to make new buildings. And to offset that, Dol Guldur comes with so many passives. And in fact, each building comes with their own passive, which is Dark Presence, which decays the enemy when they're near you, and buffs your own troops. So as long as you're within range of your buildings, you're getting a 15% armor and damage upgrade, which is incredibly useful and makes Dol Guldur incredibly difficult to siege. And it also means that as long as you have any Dol Guldur building, you can just keep buffing your units. So you can effectively just sort of keep building buildings slowly towards your enemy and sort of just creep over the land like a plague and just, overwhelm your enemy through sheer debuffs and, things like that. Which is also really cool. Another thing to notice is that once we leave the safety of Dol Guldur with our regular units, you should notice that they'll begin to decay due to the Necromancer's magic. I guess he's using... Oh god, come on, get over there. So you can see that we're slowly losing health, which is, I guess you could see it as a headache, but I personally see it as a really cool addition to the faction. Damn it, why? Will you leave me alone? We're Dol Guldur, he's supposed to be helping me here. Oh god, I think he heals based off the, Kamul! I know he's a wipe, but come on! There we go, good boy. So yeah, they'll slowly decay over time, and they'll regen, or maybe they won't regen, but they'll, at least they won't, decay when they're near their buildings. So that's something else you need to worry about. Not only the builders, but your units. But to counter that, when they do die, I think they do come back as zombies, which are immune to fear and terror. So let's just demonstrate it here against these pathetic little knife ears here. I think it's only certain buildings that were... Oh no, actually it's a level 2 upgrade, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. It's a level 2 upgrade. Basically, yes, they'll slowly decay over time, but they'll come back as something truly abhorrent. Which, if that isn't Dol Guldur, then I don't know what is. So our regular building here, we can spawn out these orc jailers, these orc hunters, which are basically the archers, and these broken rabble. Basically, any sort of elf or dwarf or woods or wood folk, treeman, whatever the fuck. Basically, anyone who just gets rounded up by Dol Guldur, they get put into your army. And they've just destroyed one of my resource buildings, which is annoying, so I have to keep building builders. But as I said, they're only 100 each. But yeah, there's just so much to unpack with this. Like, already, like, no other faction has to worry about their builders this way. No other faction has to worry about their units decaying. I mean, it really is crazy. And basically my plan with Dol Guldur is to just slowly creep towards the enemy base. And yeah, just make my hordes unstoppable, really. So these are the broken rabble, which also slowly decay. And at level 2, each killed unit is reanimated as risen dead. Risen dead do not suffer from the Necromancer's corruption, because they're, well, I mean, already dead. And I'm pretty sure they're immune to fear and terror. But as you can see, we got some dwarves here, we've got some woodsmen, and we got some elves as well. So the whole unit is just sort of a mixed bag. And look at them decay! No, my pretty ones! Oh my god, there's literally so much to go through. I'm going to try and hit everything, and I really apologize if I miss out on something. So, regular resource building is a slave mill. Uses misery as a resource, which obviously it's, you know, there's only one resource in bfme, but for canon's sake, it is kind of cool that they put that in. Like, misery is what drives Dol Guldur. That is really cool. But, even better than that, there's a slightly more expensive, oh, you flanking little shits, go over there. But what's even cooler than that is a slightly more, expensive resource building, which is the Fount of Corruption, which provides corruption as a resource. Now, these are, these can actually act as regular buildings because they can actually recruit units, and you have to manually upgrade them, which obviously costs a lot of money. But I mean, you actually get pretty good units from it, but you have to manually upgrade them, unlike these slave mills, where obviously there are like other resource buildings where they just upgrade over time. Also, in every building, maybe not in every building, but at least most of the buildings, they have an upgrade called Infestation, which is basically just a natural defense, where it temporarily summons these little spiders, which just deals minor damage to the enemy. So, if you don't have any units in the area, you can just use these to defend your buildings. And the spider nest here doesn't have them, and it's just freezing every now and again. Don't worry about it. Oh god, I keep forgetting. Damn it! I need to keep making these builders. But it's just a cool little natural defense, and at least thematically, they've really outdone themselves. I mean, misery as a resource, slowly decay over time. And, I mean, you can just produce all sorts of ungodly creatures to aid you in battle. So we should probably go over the Spellbook now. Spellbook's really cool. I have a few favorites, and I'll get to those in a sec. We're going to go on the right tree. Takes damage over time. Really, really, really minor damage. They are slowed, though. But why I like this ability is it because it goes into Dark Hysteria, where allies will become hostile to each other. That's right, Dol Guldur has weaponized the Mouth of Sauron and put him as a spellbook power, because you can actually cause enemies to be hostile to one another, which is really useful. Also, you get a Glowing Shake Foundation effectively, but it's actually a really large AoE that disables and damages structures, so this is also really powerful. And then summons a corrupted ancient spirit of the forest. If you've ever fought a Leshen from The Witcher, that's basically the inspiration here. And if you can't really tell by now, Dol Guldur likes to corrupt things. Dol Guldur is in the south of Mirkwood. Mirkwood's former name was obviously Greenwood. And obviously this is just, you know, the result of the Necromancer's corruption in what was once a very green and, you know, lush area of Middle-earth. So that's really the theme here, which, if that picture doesn't tell you, then, I mean, it's pretty obvious. So I like this route. I think it's really cool. What is this one again? This is Forest of Fear. This one gives you plus 50% vision range for all your units. So really useful for archers and for scouting, and it does slowly debuff the enemy. But it's basically like Dol Guldur's version of Elven Wood. We have Darkness here. Don't follow the lights, which that's probably Frodo if he ever smoked crystal meth. Summons a Spirit of the Dead Marshes, identical in appearance to a Tethered Shade, which is your builder. And if attacked, the spirit will disappear, stunning enemy units. So pretty good crowd control on level 1. And obviously, you know, in the heat of battle, you're not really going to be careful. You're not going to be too focused on what you're actually hitting, so it's kind of easy to proc the Tethered Shade, I'm sure. Carnage, every faction needs a buff in the early game. It's just how it works. You either take them all out or you give them to every faction, otherwise you'll just get stomped. This one's 100% damage at the cost of 50% armor, so it's just kind of like a double-edged sword here. This one, you summon 2 hordes of black wargs, so kind of like the equivalent of Spiderling allies, but obviously they just wanted something a little bit more unique. Spell of Concealment. Friendly units and structures within the area. So it's even stealth structures. Wow. Debuffs enemies as well. So, yeah, they effectively just one-upped Thranduil with this because they can stealth structures. This summons an undead troll. I've never actually seen this being used. So we're going to hopefully get enough power points to get this. And then tier 4 summons a controllable swirling green mist. All units, friend and foe, take damage and are turned into wraiths upon deaths. Now, just between you and me, I know I'm like a massive dwarf fan, and, you know, people have accepted my love of Gorkill because, I mean, who doesn't love Gorkill? Even though he's not a dwarf, we all accept it. But I kid you not, any ability or anything at all that turns something into a wraith, that is just fucking awesome, and I love that. I'd say it's being able to do that is on par with Gorkill, honestly. I mean, I think it's just fucking amazing. So yeah, we're going to get into that, and there's a reason why I'm making a special mention to that, because there's more than one way to summon raids in this game, and it's going to be pretty freaking cool. So Chill of the Grave, this slows. Seems to have outright stunned them there. And, so in addition to the Orc Barracks, basically, which can be upgraded to get more heavy infantry, because obviously you need something in the late game. Wait, what are these? Strong versus structures. Oh, cool. I never actually used the Ravagers before. In addition to that, we get the Spider Nest, which, what is the actual name of it? The Spider Lair, oh, sorry. And these are actually really solid infantry. They don't decay. The slow decay does not affect those already consumed by it. Oh, nice loophole. All Felbrood gain plus 25% damage and armor when gathered in numbers or more. And they're really fast. They do a lot of damage to just infantry and structures. They can be upgraded with poison sacks immediately. Their banner carrier is the Matriarch, which I thought is really cool. Level 2, they get a Shriek as well, which decreases the cost of cavalry. So, truly menacing because they are beasts, and I guess your average horse is going to be terrified by it. But honestly, I really like the use of spiders in Dol Guldur, because they actually are powerful and they work really well. And we're actually just going to upgrade them all with this. So the upgrades for Dol Guldur that I've seen is quite minor. They get fire arrows and they get banner carriers, but I think the fact that they can just decay all of their unit or the enemy and buff themselves, I think is supposed to be the counterbalance to that. And we're just tipping the, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We've got a lot more to go. So obviously, I think these ruinous towers can generate resources. I'm guessing that's what's by the percentage marker underneath them. But obviously they're really cheap towers, but you have to upgrade them afterwards, so it kind of raises in price. But what's useful with these towers is obviously they carry with them Dark Presence. But you can also make your Tethered Shades from them. They can get fire arrows, but you do have to upgrade them with the Hidden Sentry. But they're all really cheap. And, I mean, on the tower scale, I've never done a tier maker for the towers. But these ones are actually pretty up there purely because they carry the passive. And the passive is what's going to carry you through this game. I mean, look at that. These are the Eredolwyn Traders, which means there's an inn here. I just get fucking nutted immediately. I mean, it's crazy the amount of power that Dol Guldur has. I'm honestly just... When I'm not just kind of applauding just how creative and awesome this faction is to play, it's just how powerful everything is. And yeah, they're decaying, but they'll come back as something better. If you've ever played Dead Space, you'll know that death is only the beginning. And for some reason, this Tethered Shade got stuck on a wall, or on a hill. There we go. So we can upgrade our Spider Pit to get Sanethra's Sisters. And I think Sanethra, if I'm saying that right, what is it? Sanethra. There we go. Anyway, she's the spider hero that we can recruit. And she's pretty fucking edgy and she's pretty fucking cool. If anyone is an arachnophobe, probably not the faction for you, I'm sorry to say. But, hey. Maybe this is more of your face your fears sort of thing. Baggins. That's voiced by the one and only Callum Lindsay, and that's actually another really cool thing about Dol Guldur is that we can recruit Kamul, the Shadow of the East, the Black Eastling, right off the bat. And if his appearance didn't make you think he was cool, or his name, his voice surely will. And we're just gonna see how much damage these spiders can do. Oh, sweet Mary. That's some fucking power, dude. Dol Guldur, you've gone too far this time. More ruinous towers, boys. Spread the rot, as Heinrich Kemmler says. And they've outdone themselves again. I mean, just minorly, but it's just the little things that just make it good. This is a spider hero that gets burrow at level 1. Finally. That's what you want from your spider hero. You want them to be able to burrow. You want them to go in, do the damage, and then get the fuck out. Like, I don't get why Shelob doesn't have burrow at level 1. I think maybe in 109 they fixed that? But, yeah, at least this one has burrow. Enemy units are slowed and take increased damage from spiders, so a really good, oh, also summons a horde of Felbrood. Oh, nice. Causes targets to become hostile to... Wait, what the fuck? We have 2 sets of Oh my goodness. Dol Guldur, take a vow. Jesus Christ, you're just... What the hell are you doing? You're a... Oh god, alright. We need to make sure we need to upgrade all these towers, because I don't want anything getting through. And I think it's funny that we've just kind of broken down the door with, with spiders, effectively. I will go through all the heroes, so don't worry. This is Kamul. His abilities are fairly standard for a Nazgul. He has, Screech, and he has, a debuff, and he, Oh, he buffs Undead, and he gets his armor at level 5. But at level 8, he buffs friendly units, but he can also summon 4 Ancient Easterlings. Which, I mean, let's be honest. Even if the men of Rune aren't your favorite, you have to admit that their armor in the film was fucking badass, and just anyone who's really looked into their lore knows they're awesome. So he starts out on his horse, but obviously you can dismount him. I don't know what that was. Oh, these are the rabble. Oh my god, poor motherfucker. What is this? Appetite for destruction. Orc Ravagers temporarily do knockback damage and regain their health against structures. So that picture is kind of misleading because they look like they've got heavy axes and they've got heavy armor. I thought these were like cannon fodder when I first saw them, but I think they're oh god, that's cavalry. They seem to be actually really effective shock troops. Alright, let's see. Are slowed. Oh, someone's little spider web. I think that's from 109, which members of the Age of the Ring team did work on, so it makes sense. We need to find a big group of them, because I want to use Hysteria. I really want to see how this goes. Anyway, now for the advanced buildings. You can see that they don't have that many buildings. But, it doesn't really matter, because each one's really strong. So, we saw the spider lair. We're building the other resource building. The Spire of Sorcery. This trains probably the most badass units that the faction gets. But it also damages enemies around it. And when they die, people, it turns them into wraiths. It turns them into fucking wraiths. So this building, which costs 800, we're going to build 2, actually. We're going to build 2. Oh god, that motherfucker's flanking me. We're going to destroy the inn up there, because I'm not being flanked. Fuck that. Yeah, we'll send our heroes up there to deal with it. And we'll upgrade this. No, that wasn't the building I wanted. There we go. So, these glorious structures now, whenever a unit dies around them, they'll come back as wraiths, and you can just send them straight back into the enemy base. They're on a timer, but we can send them straight back into the enemy base, and you could really just pit in your enemy with these. And honestly, it's my favorite thing about the faction. Forget all the unique builders and decaying units and the risen again, blah 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 blah. I think it's the, oh god, where are my heroes? I think it's the, being able to turn your units, or enemies, into whites just immediately is the most fun for me. Alright, we have lots of money, so we're gonna make, the Necromancer. We're gonna make Thrain, even though it breaks my heart that he's, I mean, any dwarf that's been tormented, I mean, it breaks my heart, but it is actually lore accurate, because he was, captured and taken back to Dol Guldur, his ring prized from him, and he was tortured by Sauron for many years. I know Gandalf did find him in, oh my god, he is completely broken, hence his name Thrain, Thrain the Broken. But I know Gandalf does find him in Dol Guldur, and he does, where the fuck's this in? There it is. And that's where Gandalf gets the Key of Erebor, but I honestly can't remember what happens to Thrain after that. It's kind of weird. Alright, let's summon these Ancient Easterlings now, because I actually haven't seen it. Oh! And it's got the One Ring inscription around it. Oh my goodness. Look at them. Even King Eonar himself would shit himself if he was in a dark alley with these guys. If it's not the sickles, it's the horned helmets. They are absolutely terrifying. Alright, they are on a timer. I was gonna leave them here, but they are on a timer, unfortunately. I would take them off being a timer, because they're solo, and I think it'd be so cool to just mark your territory with that. Anyway, so they're dying, they're dying, they're dying. And look at the whites, boy. For some reason, only one. We only got one white. I don't know what happened to the others, but fuck it. We still got one. And it's just cool being able to turn your enemy against them. That's also another theme, since we've got Dark Hysteria and Web of Lies. What's the final ability? We didn't actually look. Endless Hunger. Like Ungoliant, Sinatra possesses an insatiable hunger for flesh and precious objects. Can now trample, steals resources when dealing damage, and when activated regains 30% health. So she can just heal at level 8 and also trample and siphon resources. Oh my goodness. Anyway, he himself has arrived. This is the Necromancer. And this is him in all of his glory. And he has pretty kick-ass voice lines as well.
I see you. I will have what is mine.
So yeah, he's pretty much the Dol Guldur personified, because he is a mobile dark presence. So wherever he goes, your army is stronger, they won't decay, and the enemy will just wither and rot. We've got a lot of money, so we're gonna get Kargas, which is the Tomb Guard hero, and then Crimple the Torturer, that one guy that gets yeeted by Galadriel. These are Sinethra's sisters. A single giant spider. Oh yeah, these are effectively your siege units. They're actually quite vulnerable to arrow fire, but there are siege, so we're gonna make them. This is Thrain the Broken. He's basically not really a combatant. He's stealth by default. He gives buffs to your rabble, so basically he's just there to give leadership to him. And then he becomes invulnerable when he reaches low health. He's not really that much of a combatant. He's just there as a mobile leadership for your rabble. We're gonna upgrade this so we can show off the Tomb Guards. And this is that weird Dungeon Master from every creepy video you've ever seen. I don't know this guy's abilities actually, but if I remember correctly, this is actually what Bolg was supposed to look like when they were doing the making the Desolation of Smaug. But I think they changed it to have him more resemble Azog. So now this guy is Crimple the Torturer. Orcus Chief. Oh, you can just summon jailers? A rank 3 summons hunters and ravagers. Oh. So yeah, the announcer... The announcer for Dol Guldur is really cool. And I love its voice. I mean, it's quite ominous, and it represents Dol Guldur quite well. But it reminds me so much of a game. And I can't think of the game. It sounds so much like Kel'Thuzad. I think it might actually be, if any of you... Oh my god, that is a lot of... This is why I like the whites! Look at this! Look! I mean, they're on a timer, but... This was the enemy army, and we're like, yeah, fuck it. Here you go. Also, the ring has shown up, so... Borrow, daddy. Borrow. Please. Thank you! I think we give it to the Necromancer. Where are you, Necky? There you are. But yeah, the announcer sounds so much like, if you ever played Heroes of the Storm, it sounds like the announcer from the Haunted Mines map. and one of the other... It sounds like the Raven Lord, actually. If you guys have ever played Heroes of the Storm, then you guys will know what I'm talking about. But, no, I really like the announcer. I like the echoey, shadowy voice. I think it's really cool. So we've got 2 buildings here that'll just debuff the enemy. Turn them into whites, which... I mean, essentially you grow in proportion to how weak your enemy gets. Because you're just adding their strength to your own, which is really cool. We can disable the buildings. We've got the Leshen. We'll just get Cargast in here and thingy. These are the Sinestro Sisters, by the way. These are the siege units. Encasing webs. Wait, disables? They can disable? I mean, they're close quarter siege, so they're obviously going to take more damage. But holy fucking dick cheese, dude. They're really outdid themselves with this faction. It's just debuff on top of debuff on top of debuff. It's really crazy. Wait, what's this? Greatly increases the radius of the Blight passive, which damages nearby enemies and turns them into wraiths upon dying. Oh my god, we can increase the range even more. Are you kidding me? Okay, we're not going to give Dol Guldur the ring just yet. Because I just want to go through all the abilities of the Necromancer, who just, you know, who just stoically strides into battle, does not care, he's going to win in the end, 1 ring to rule them all, and all that jazz. Level 1, obviously he's just Dark Presence, Mode Ball. You can summon a large black warg, which is permanent and comes in level 5. Lunge. Deals strong damage to selected enemy and causes bleeding. Oh my god, they're so strong. Actually, I think I've actually figured out their weakness. Being able to micro everything, all these cool abilities that your heroes have. But then again, that's probably just a weakness of everyone. So... yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's really a weakness. It's just, hey, you have more things to click. Good luck. Oh, it's glorious. Let's go back to him. Level 3, the Abhorred Dread. The Necromancer casts a necromantic spell on enemies within a radius, dealing heavy damage, resurrecting the dead as risen dead under the player's control. And then it just increases the damage, and summons a horde of restless warriors as you level up. So you progressively get stronger. This is basically, he becomes a shadow, and he can just move around really quickly, and he can't attack. It's like your get out of jail free card. And then Wreathed in Flame. The Necromancer erupts in flame, blasted back enemies, and setting the surrounding area on fire. Not really sure if that's a nod to, basically Sauron revealing himself in the film, how he's just a formless shadow, and then just erupts. He's just wreathed in flame at the end of that little skirmish. I thought that was really cool. And did they just summon hobbits on me? Oh my goodness, they summoned Gandalf. You don't have the balls. Where is he? He went somewhere. Okay, he died somewhere in there, and I think he got ripped apart by spiders. So not a particularly fitting end for him. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Alright, let's give him the ring now, boyos. Let's do it. This has been so easy, by the way. This is a hard. And he's actually wearing the ring. And he recites the black speech, 1 ring to rule them all. Master of the Nine summons a ring wraith. Are you kidding? He summons a ring wraith. Are you out of your frickin' mind? You're out of your cotton picking mind. The 9 are abroad as more Nazgul gather. Hey, Kamal, you got a friend. And I know the Age of Men is over. I'm looking at it, and the Age of Men is over. Look at this! Yeah, you want to get to my army? Okay, this is Dol Guldur summed up. You want to get through my army? First, get through your own army that I've just stolen from you. We still have 2 sets of Dark Hysteria, by the way. That's insane. How big is this radius now?
We are under attack.
We are under attack. That sounds straight out of Heroes of the Storm, by the way. That sounds straight out of it. Alright, we got the Castellans, which buff structures, but can also... they can also be used offensively as well, so we're going to make them. We're limited to 3, but I think that's not really that bad. Harbingers of Shadow. They are a specialist unit. I don't really remember what these things do. Honestly, I think my favorite things about this is obviously the whites, being able to convert them, as I said. But yeah, and the spiders. And I think the Orc Rabblers as well. So these are the Tomb Guard, I think? The Tomb Guard. Many dark tunnels and tombs were dug into Amon-Lank to house the Necromancer's subjects and keep them hidden from the prying eyes of the White Council. They were guarded by ancient orcs of singular mind, rotted and decayed. So these are them.
Enemy has grown bold.
So these are basically your heavy infantry for the late game. And it's really... It's just nice to let your army do the talking and just have them decay or debuff the enemy and just not really... Who the hell is that?
Fools, protect our resources.
He's dying to... Elro here, you're losing to a fucking resource building. I didn't even do infestation yet. You are pathetic. No wonder Elrond forgets you exist. But yeah, it's nice not being able to worry about fully upgrading your units and purchasing upgrades. It's just let the shadow speak for us. We're gonna... I just want to show you this. This is the... We can get the Palantir upgrade, which we will get. But these two final upgrades... These are so ungodly strong, I don't think this is balanced. I mean, the turning into wraiths is fine, because we get that in our structures. But this one here... Temporarily take control of enemy units within the radius. Obviously it's going to have a short range, because it's a fortress defense. But, let's say, a massive army that's cost thousands of resources to assemble, attacks your base, you fall back, you tactically withdraw, and then you just use this. You just take control of them, and then boom, have them fight each other. And then all of them that die become wraiths. I mean, it's a win-win. I don't know how that's balanced, honestly. I think that's far too strong for what they're supposed to... I don't know. Comparing that to something like Ivory Tower and whatever Rivendell get. I forget what they get. But it's just so strong. I mean, that's just crazy. Also, it's a cool little... corrupted, like miasma sort of look around the fortress, like a poison cloud.
The enemy has grown bold.
I think thematically, I mean, from a gameplay perspective, I think Dol Guldur is the most unique that's ever been in bfme. But on top of that, I think thematically, they've just done such a good job of conveying that sense of dread and misery and decay. It's just so good. So we have Castellans, which, you want to talk about stoic. I mean, it's just this... it's just a soul, or a corrupted soul, that's inhabited a suit of armor. They've given him a claymore that dwarfs Anduril, and then he just walks around like a Scooby-Doo villain, buffing... Just buffing the shit out of buildings. So, the little Castellan helmet is the supposed to show you that they're buffing structures. How much is it, actually? Provides armor to enemy... Attacking enemies are poisoned and reduced armor, so that's another debuff. It doesn't actually say how much it buffs the armor, but it buffs it. What else do they get? Incorporeal. The armored Castellan becomes immune to damage, of course he does, but cannot attack, move, or heal. Necromantic Blast. Enemy units are blasted back and take damage. Where's the third one? Because we'll level up the third one. Maybe we... Oh. Where is our Harbingers of Shadow? No, those are the Tomb Guard. Dead! No. Yes, these are the Harbingers of Shadow. We'll zoom in on these, So yeah, they're just, reanimated skeletons, basically. But they've actually given pretty good armor. Deep Rock. Can be cast on a structure to deal to deal damage over time. At rank 3, spawn several uncontrollable wraiths around the structure. Alright, we're gonna level these guys up because I want to see. Harbingers attack passively decrease armor, because of course they do! Oh, it's Gandalf! Hey look, Gandalf, I heard you like wraiths. This isn't balanced, dude. Look at this. Yep, that was just your army, you wizard blasted kiddo. It was just your army. That's right, kill your own army. Shall not pass, yeah. Wow, yeah, I've seen it all, Gandalf, wow. And... that was pathetic. And we still have 4 wraiths to spare. 5 wraiths. Pardon me. So, I think I'm gonna make a separate video because I don't think that... the thing is, I had so much to talk about and so much to cover that I didn't really... like, I'd have to discuss everything and fight the army, and I thought I'd be so preoccupied fighting the army that I'd easily be able to show off everything, but it seems that this Rivendell really is just being destroyed by this little defensive line I have here. So I don't think I'm going to be able to level up all the heroes. I might. Look at that! This isn't balanced. Look! Once you upgrade with the arrows, which they're fire arrows, but they have like an ice effect, which looks really cool. Look at that! Jesus H. Christ. Alright, are our Harbingers upgraded? No. Is that Bayon's house? Something like that. Okay, we're gonna try and upgrade everyone. Kargat, show the Tomb Guard. I'm guessing he's the Barrow Lord. Nearby enemies are slowed. The radius of this increased with each level. Oh, that's pretty cool. March of the Dead. Nearby friendly undead units gain movement speed and experience. Target structure earns more resources, but all nearby units have reduced armor for a time. I'm not sure about that. Spell of the Barrows. Target enemies are stunned in fear. Any risen dead in the area. Oh, okay. So he buffs risen dead. We'd have to make sure we get them. Someone just died there. That was weird. Oh, no. The Castellan. No! I really love that I've put them on patrol there. How fucking cool do they look doing that? Yeah, we're going to tell them to fight each other. Let's see what happens. There's Web of Lies. And I think they'll attack each other when they're right next to each other, but if there's enemies, they'll still attack enemies. Although, honestly, they seem to just be derping out. God damn, this is just too strong. Has he made Siege? I saw Siege somewhere. Or at least I heard Siege somewhere. Siege could outdo us, potentially. Let's disable these structures, shall we? So it's the devastation effect. And my game's just frozen. Too much epicness in one place. Level 6, we can summon a Fell Horde. Can we summon another Nazgul? I feel like it's... There we go, that scream says we can. Necromancer casts Resurrecting the Dead. So that does heavy damage. I think I probably should have done it on the enemy. But hey, we've got Nazgul. Oh god! Oh, I hit Q accidentally. We have so much stuff. Okay, there's one last unit which we haven't really checked out. And that is from our second resource building. Infestation. We have Blighted Trappers. We'll make one of those because I don't really remember what they do. But honestly, one of my favorite things is we have the Corrupted Entwife. Now, this is really cool because if you remember, the Ents believe the Entwives are just like misplaced, they lost them. But I've seen a few theories going around that the mouths of the Entwash, which is where the Entwives used to live, it all got burned down. And the theory is that Sauron in the Second Age sort of burnt it all down. And at least in the canon of Age of the Ring, they've sort of taken it that Sauron corrupted some of them and used their knowledge of nature and of botany to sort of corrupt nature and plants and all that. So, I mean, I'm guessing Sauron didn't really know much about nature. He was more, I mean, he taught under Aule, is more about smithing and all that. So it's kind of cool that he would corrupt the Entwives to just kind of destroy his enemies, which is really cool. And on top of that, the model... I mean, it's sort of like a Banshee from Mass Effect 3 kind of look. I really like their faces. I think they're really menacing. Far scarier than the Ents. I mean, they're really cool. So they're not affected by the Risen Dead, because obviously not. Tumorous Acorn. That is a... Oh god, I don't want to think about that. Once Entwives are killed, they drop a Tumorous Acorn, which will respawn the Entwife if left alone. Oh, cool. Entwives can enter the Fount to grant... Oh, that's right. They can enter the Fount to grant plus 10% resources. And they also get... No, that's it. So that's some really cool passives. So they have... Dol Guldur has these big spiders. And they have the Entwives as their siege. So you may think the roster is kind of small, at least with their barracks and with the spiders, but... I mean, each unit comes with so many passives and just fun moves that, I mean, I think they're really fun to use. All right, Sauron is level 4. Let's try and get him to level 8. Let's try and see the. Let's try and see the final ability of the Necromancer. Yeah, go on the fount. What's it now, precious? 25 points. Now we can summon the Leshen. And oh my god, there's still so many. I feel like it was a mistake making these buildings, but I was just so hyped about them. I thought they were so cool. Being able to turn your enemy into wraiths. That, yeah. I think it's a bit too formidable a defense. And these are our siege buildings. Yeah, let's see what they do to the orchard. Actually, there was something else I wanted to show you. Let's get the rabble. We'll make like 3. And we'll put them like right there. Because these... what building is that?
I'm not scared. You're scared.
Maybe it's these guys.
Get the whip.
Yeah, no, never mind. We'll cancel that. Once your regular orc units level up, or your rebel, or whatever, you can willfully turn them into risen dead. And there they go, the reanimated skeletons of the servant of the Necromancer. You can kind of get the gist of what they were going for with Dol Guldur. And, I mean, it's so impressive, it's so cool. Let's see. Crimple the Torturer, did we go over your abilities? Dungeon Master, oh, kinky. Summons a small jail that casts Dark Presence, may recruit Broken Rabble. Imprison, Crimple cripples an enemy hero. Causes surrounding enemy units to cower in fear. Cannot be cast on monsters, ring heroes, LSR, and Tom Bombadil. Oh! Nice! LSR and Tom Bombadil, cool. I like that. I like that little addition. Alright. Rivendell Hard. I've been very disappointed. We've been all disappointed in how you've just crumbled. I know we're scary. I know we got the big bad. I know that I can just summon Nazgul for the fucking fun of it. But hey, it's not my fault. It's not my fault that Dol Guldur is so strong. I really feel bad for Rivendell. They've crashed and burned against 2 Spires of Sorcery. Level 5. So this... There we go. I think... Did we still take damage? Hold on. Does not allow him to attack. Okay. Quickly across... Oh, it can terrify enemy units. Oh, that's pretty useful. Does it trigger the floodgates? It does. Cool. Alright. But it's just your get out of jail free card, or at least that's how I use it. Alright. Let's summon our Leshen now. This is the Bane of the Greenwood. And there's a picture if you ever saw one. So here he is. He uses the animation of Crash Bandicoot from Rise of the Witch King, which is what we called the Big Giant Wolf. And that is definitely a Leshen. Basically the worst parts of nature personified. What does he have here? Soul Trap. Enemy units within radius take damage. If a unit dies, grants Granthar receives damage and armor. Sacrifice. Can target a friendly unit to devour them? Oh god. Here, spider, come here. Let me devour you. Nope, can't devour spiders. Well, that's a shame. Oh, there's a hero there. Oh, not really a hero. I'm so sorry, Farmer Maggot. Target structure is destroyed. Ow, it doesn't work on fortresses. I guess there is some balance with Dol Guldur. An expulsion. Summons a wave of shades to clear out the enemy. Oh, game freeze again. Oh! Now that is cool. I wasn't expecting... Okay, it said a wave. Okay, now I get what it means. So, that's a pretty formidable tier 4, if I'm honest. And Rivendell. I should have put you guys on Brutal. The thing is, if I had done it on Brutal, I don't think I would have been able to cover anything coherently, because I would have been so busy. So I think what I'm going to do is, we're going to finish up the showcase, and then next time we're going to face a Brutal, and then we can actually see all the heroes. Oh, now, I bet you had a passive where he just damages everything as he dies. That was really cool. Hysteria. Oh, it's only going to work. It's only going to work on evil things, isn't it? Well, that's annoying. But yeah, we'll fight a Brutal next time. and we can show off all the full power of Dol Guldur. And once you get the second upgrade, and that fortress just becomes so menacing. Just another little thing, you can get the Boneyard, where Risen Dead will rise out. Sort of like the Spider Holes expansion, where they'll just pop out, and, what does this do? Spawns a Horde of Broken Rebel at the cost of production. Oh, okay. So they have 2 defenses. But I don't know if at the cost of production is that good. Oh, they're permanent. Oh, maybe it is. But yeah, we'll have to make another video to show off the full power of Dol Guldur. Anyway. Should we finish off with the Entwives or the heroes? Maybe just captured whites. I guess they would actually need units to do that. And oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. I think these Harbingers of Shadow, was it them that could disable buildings or something? I think they could. Anyway, let's go. Everyone charge! We have corrupted this land. We have spread over like a plague. Mission accomplished.
Behold, the enemy camp.
And that warg we summoned at the very beginning is also permanent. We are just so damn powerful. That's insane. Summon another Nazgul, why not? So, let me know. Let me disable this. Oh, it's just too easy with Dol Guldur. They're so strong. But yeah, honestly, let me know what your favorite unit of Dol Guldur is and what your favorite path to them is. And let me know if you agree that they're probably let me know if you agree that they're the most unique faction that has ever been in a bfme mod. Because I think they're fantastic. And with the Harad and Greenwood on the way, I think this mod's just going to go from strength to strength. But as of right now, as of version 5.0, I think Dol Guldur has just gone full S tier. I think they're just amazing. So anyway, hit that like button. Hit that like button, boyos, and we'll get more Dol Guldur content on the way, and we will show the full power of the Necromancer. Until then, you guys have been great, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.